I hope you didn't hear me say that. All right, we're live. Who's going to be the first one in the comments here tonight? We'll see.
First one in wins Jake's hat.
No one's getting our. Dude, we technically already gave these hats away.
Ron's looking for his hat.
I got to get Ron his hat. Oh, man, 3 in a row.
Cookout Coach got it.
Cookout Coach got it, but literally Cookout Coach, Travis, and Kyle, you guys all showed up at the same time. Whoa, now it's blowing up. Backyard in the house. Cookout Coach won it, though.
Cookout Coach got it.
The computer gave it to them. Kyle's strong second. What's up, Greg? If you guys haven't voted yet, go vote for Greg. Entry number 4 over the National Barbecue League competition they got going on there. There's Tarpy. Glenn Zobel. That's going to be a pretty good night here tonight. 21 people on. Man, it's just blowing up. Holy smokes, guys. Calm down. Jim Hudgens.
Travis, look, Steve. Travis says, Steve, one story of our lives. I don't know. We got Dennis on the night.
Yeah, we get the real winner on the night.
He's got the story.
What's going on, Angel? Michael Fay's on. Man, we're up to 25, man. Let's just get this party started. Dave, we don't really have any full announcements out, do we?
No, not really. I mean, besides we'll be going to Michael Fay's class in March. Looking forward to that. Jake and I will be both taking our KCBS judging class and table captain class. All in one. We just signed up for that. Actually, we signed up. We were waiting for the invoice. We got the invoice today.
Oh, I paid. I'm ready to roll.
Super stoked for that.
Michael Fay said no hat tonight.
Yeah, got the Swami hat.
So, yeah, we're excited to become judges and table captains. And any weekend not competing, we're judging. So, that'll be a lot of fun. Did a nice weekend with Bob Tarpey. That was a lot of fun this week. Yeah.
That was a good time hanging out in the trailer.
I've laughed so hard, and things could still make me chuckle if I thought about it. Tarpey. But, all right, man, we're up to 30 people here, Dave. Give a special shout-out to your shirt you're wearing.
Oh, we'll get big. Sorry, I was reading something.
Easy.
No, Tarpey posted, says Dave was stalking me on Monday. Yeah, right. You were stalking. You seen me on the side of the street. I was in Tarpey's town. Now, big shout out to Booster Barbecue. If you're looking for barbecue supplies, rubs, spices, accessories, he's got some good stuff over there. If there's something that you guys don't see, shoot one of us a message. He's trying to stock pretty much, whatever he can get, but whatever makes you guys easier. He's local in Pennsylvania, so his turnaround time for shipping is pretty good. Give him a shout. Check him out.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I got to give a special shout-out here. Dave Pavone, his wife made me a little crocheted pig and sent it to me. Actually, they personally dropped it off.
Dude, that's
so I got to thank them for that. I named it Oink.
Oink.
Kind of creative name. Yeah, this one's Oink.
Gonna bring in good luck 2020 on the trailer this year?
Yeah, this one's Pig. So I got Oink and Pink. Oink and Pink. So, they'll definitely be in my barbecue trailer here for sure. So, special shout-out to Miss Pavone and David for hooking me up with a pig. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we got the KCBS Backyard World Champion and a big backyard heavy hitter on here, Piggy Smalls, coming on here tonight. So let's introduce here Dave. Yeah, T's back. Dennis Bowman and David Dick. Welcome, guys.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for being on here. So you guys have absolutely destroyed it this year, both of you. Dennis, you're the KCBS Backyard World Champion. David, this was your first year, and you've done better than I have in my entire barbecue career. So we'll definitely got to talk about that. But first off, we'll get started here. We'll start with you, David, because you're on the left. How did you get into barbecue?
So my story kind of started back in 2013 or 2014. I competed down at Pickin' and Pullin down in Lenexa. I think their first year doing it. I worked down in Williamsburg, and I saw a flyer or something somewhere, and I said, "Oh, I'll try this." And I showed up with my, Kamado Joe. I tossed on the back of my F-150, and then, looked around, and there was people with banners and all this. And I was like, "Oh man, I don't know if this is for me." I was I was at the judges meeting, the cooks meeting, and found out I had ribs, so I had to run out and get a rack of ribs because I thought it was just it was a shit show. And that one was non-KCBS sanctioned, and the reps were, they followed KCBS rules. So I did that, and then I moved down to Southwest Virginia and met my teammate now, Don Porcleone. He was a KCBS judge, so he said, "Hey, you should get into judging." So I went down to Grill Billy's in North Carolina, took the judging class, and him and I started judging, and then we ran Zombie Q its first year in 2019. Really built a relationship with a lot of the pro teams and the backyard teams. And when I moved to Charlottesville, I kind of made the decision with Todd, my teammate, that would probably be the easiest way for us to kind of stay in touch and still hang out and do stuff together, was to start a team. So kind of put ourselves together and got advice from the rest of the backyard guys and just kind of started practicing and took off. So that's kind of how I got involved with it.
Awesome.
Wow. Very cool. Dennis, what about you?
I started competing in 2017. I had started smoking because of Barbecue Pitmasters, or late 2000s or so. And so I kind of started in 2013 and got a smoker and just constantly played around with it. And so I was like, man, I want to compete. And so I looked up and found Smoke on the Mountain in Galax. At that time, I didn't even know KCBS, NBN, none of that I didn't even know what that was. I was like, oh, it's a competition. And so I signed up, and it was for ribs. And so I did it. At the time, it was a backyard division. The patio porkers is what the NBN calls the backyard division. Mm-hmm. And they didn't give us results at that time. They started the next year, I think, because everyone asked for it that year. So I have no idea how I even placed, but they were terrible. I tasted some of the ribs that some of the other guys cooked, and I was probably like really bad. But anyways, there was only 8 of us there. But I was hooked immediately. So I was like, I got to find another one. So I found Butts and Beans competition down in Hickory, North Carolina, which was KCBS. And it was the last year they had backyard, and it was a 3 meat backyard they had. So I was like, this is cool because I got to actually do 3 meats at that one. And I got there was 11 or 12 of us competing, and I got a 5th place pork call and a 4th place rib call. And man, like, you thought I won the Olympics. Like, I was like, I had all kinds of family and friends there, and like, I was like, dude, sign me up for everything. Like, this is I was just immediately addicted. And then the next year, the very first one I did, I won like a 5th place chicken, and then all of a sudden, like, everything stopped for like a year and a half, and I just did terrible. I couldn't even figure out what I was doing wrong. And then the next year, Butts and Beans, I wanted to do that again, but they got rid of backyard. So I was like, well, I'll compete pro, just so I can do it. And so I tried the brisket also, and I can't even actually remember how I did. It was terrible. Like, I think there was maybe 50 teams. I probably came in like, I don't know, the bottom 5 in every category or something like that. It was just terrible. And then I started the next season off at a pro competition up in New Jersey, and it was the same. I think I came in, well, I didn't compete in brisket there, so I did come in dead last because there was one category I didn't compete in. But it's the same thing. I came in just terrible. And then I went to West Virginia for a backyard competition and came in dead last. It was the worst ribs. I burned my ribs up, and I almost just quit. I was like, man, I don't even know. Like, I can't figure this out. I don't know what I'm doing wrong now. And then I was so pissed off by that Monday. I literally tore up all my recipes that I'd worked on for those couple of years. And man, I broke it out like science. I was like, I started with ribs, and I was like, all right. I was like, what do you got? You got taste, tenderness, and appearance. And I was like, what's good taste? So taste would be salty, sweet, savory. And then I would break each one of those out. How do you get salty? How do you get sweet? And the same thing with appearance. I was like, how do you get, a maroon color? Like, what makes that color? And so anyways, I created this recipe with the ribs. That's kind of where it started with. And then all of a sudden that summer, it kind of went off. I got 2nd place in Galax. And then I finally got my first place call down in North Carolina, and I RGC'd. down there, and then the next 2 competitions I granded, and then after that I GC, and it's just been kind of going off ever since then. That was 2019, so I kind of ended where I was going to. 2019 ended really, really hot coming into this year.
I mean, you had a pretty fire year this year. Is it true that is that all because you learned you could trim beforehand?
Oh my God.
So the chicken, Travis, when I was actually it's that West Virginia competition I mentioned. I used to always trim my chicken at the competitions, and and I remember Scott Sennett from North and South Smoke was he pre-trimmed his chicken before that competition, and I was like, man, that is illegal. I was like, he's gonna get busted for that, and is what I was thinking. I was like, I don't think you can do that. And then I was trimming it, and Travis came over, and he was like, man, I did that at home. And I was like, you can really do that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I mean, I could be drinking beer this whole time, you know? So, so that was the last competition I trimmed chicken on site.
Yeah, I did a pro, but when I first started doing pro, I didn't know you could trim at home, or I was scared to. I was scared I was going to get DQ'd. And I trimmed everything, and there's nothing worse than trimming chicken at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you're tired, and you're hot, you're sticky, you're dirty, the wind's blowing, it's miserable.
Bent over one of the folding tables, and your back's hurting.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. That's awful. So, what are you guys cooking on?
Go ahead, Dave.
Sorry, I should have asked.
I cook on a Weber smoke fire. I started the season with a drum and a pellet attachment for my Weber kettle, and had been looking for a grill to use at home anyway. So I went ahead and purchased the smoke fire, and I used that for the first time down in Withville on the first day, and got the 180 in chicken. And I said, well, I guess I'll continue to use that. It's done well for me. I've just used the one cooker for all the competitions. I did purchase one of those Masterbuilt gravity fed that I've been playing around with this winter to use possibly if I do a 3-meat, because with the timing and stuff. But yeah, it seems to do what I want it to do. I get a lot of crap, especially from Cookout Coach. He thinks it's going to catch on fire, but the only thing that's been on fire is my chicken scores. So that's Steve.
Burn.
I love you, Steve.
So you're cooking on a Masterbuilt gravity fed. How are you liking those?
So I've done a few practices with them at here at the house. I've been doing ribs on that. I like that. I still don't have quite the flavor profile and some of the things that people have been competing for a while. Chris Lemon, for example, has been using drums, and he gets that charcoal that really almost like a grilled taste. Some people think that it's like a creosote taste, but I think it's more of like a grilled taste to the smoke. And I think I want to try to get that from the Masterbuilt by using charcoal instead of the pellets.
You want to get a creosote taste?
It's not really a creosote taste. It's more. Some judges will think that it's a creosote taste, but it's that grease dripping onto the charcoal and the charcoal burning. It's more of a real fire taste, Debo cooking on a stick burner. He's getting that. I don't feel like I get quite that taste from a pellet smoker, and that's what I'd like to get from the charcoal. And I don't know, I could be completely off, but it's something that I'm playing around with and I'm trying to get. And I've seen people, I talked to some of the Alabama teams. I know that I think it was Hell on Squeals uses a gravity fed Masterbuilt. So I'll see where it goes, and I'll bring it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I'll stick to my old trusty smoke fire.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see about that Masterbuilt gravity fed, because that kind of changed the game, and not backyard competition, but backyard cooking in general, to have a gravity fed patio cooker, we can call it that. That's pretty daggone cool, because that thing, gravity fed, that's kind of everyone's going that route anymore. Well, drums and gravity fed, it feels like everyone's doing.
Yeah.
Very cool. Dennis, what about you, brother? What are you cooking on?
So when I first started competing, I cooked on a Dynaglow offset smoker. I did that for the first year or two, and then in the late 2018, I had gotten, it was, there's a company called SLE Equipment right outside of Nashville that does these basically built to order trailer smokers. So I got this trailer smoker. It was a reverse flow stick burner. And so I've been cooking on that now since, well, I got it at the end of the season in 2018. So I first started competing early 2019 with it.
So hold on a second. You were competing on this?
No, not that one.
It was kind of
Like a rectangular.
Yeah, it's like rectangular. It's a Dynaglow. There's two versions. There's a skinnier one and then like a wider one, and I had the wider one of the two.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say someone down the road from my house has one of those. I'm like, what is that? Okay, interesting. Like the little almost looks like a here. I got it. I
Like a
don't know what I'm
cabinet
doing.
kind of thing.
Yeah, like that.
Yep, exactly. So I don't know if it's hard to tell online. I don't know if that's the smaller or the bigger one, but the cooking chamber on the one mine is like twice as wide as the smaller one.
Yeah, that looks like this kind of in comparison. It looks a little wider than the firebox. Interesting. I've never heard of those before. That's wow. And that's just regular little stick burner, or you just run charcoal on that?
Mostly charcoal, and then I throw chips on top. I cooked on it last week. I still cook on it at home when I don't want to fire, because the trailer smoker I have, that thing burns through a lot of wood. So if I'm just doing like a pork butt for someone or something small, I'll just use the Dynaglow.
Absolutely. What's your trailer smoker?
What's that?
What's your trailer smoker?
It's the one from SLE Equipment that I mentioned. So it's a reverse flow stick burner. I haul it behind my truck, so it's pretty big. I mean, you can fit a lot of meat on it.
I'm trying to find it here.
I should have a bunch of pictures on my Facebook. I'm pretty sure of it.
I know you have some with those big trophies on the top. If I were
with the big trophies on top. Here, I did. Hold on. I'm still getting a hang of what some of the things we can do with this. I gotta share it this way. Hold on. Stop share. Chrome. Here. I found the Dynaglow. Go over to the old TikTok.
Actually, that's my gas grill. So I have a Dynaglow gas grill.
He's a big fan of Dynaglow.
Here we go.
There it is.
That's it. Dynaglow.
Yep, that's it.
Nice. So you can fit. That's pretty good room. 2 pork butts on there.
I did a pro competition. My father-in-law had one also, and I actually borrowed his. And the first pro competition I did, I used 2 of those, and I just cooked the brisket and pork in one, and the chicken and ribs in the other.
That's awesome. That would definitely work. I mean,
Did the whole temperature good?
On there.
What's that?
Is the whole temperature good?
It's fickle with that.
I had one because when I first got into barbecue, I had my homemade smoker, and I was like, I need something for chicken. So I got that little thing. Man, I tell you what, that first competition, I threw it off the trail when I got home. It would not hold temp. It was horrible.
You got to kind of beef them up a little bit.
That thing.
But even today, though, I'll use it, and sometimes like it struggles to get over 225, and then some days it'll just sit at 400 the whole time, and I'm like, what in the world, man?
Yeah, I launched it. I was like, I'm done with this thing.
I love the dog. Oh man! Oh, Keith said that was his first one too. Keith Todd, SCA rep. So, talk to us about 2020, Dennis. We'll start with you. What was going in 2020? I bet, were you expecting to come out and destroy like this, or what were you hoping for before the COVID hit?
Yeah, I was thinking I would come out pretty hot because I ended the last 4 competitions of 2019 were 2 GCs and 2 RGCs. So I came off 2019 really hot, and then I started down in North Carolina at an unsanctioned event. And the very first night, they did an unsanctioned state competition, and I won first place at it. And I was like, here we go again, man. I was like, man, this is – and then I ended up getting a second place rib call. I think there was like 25, 30 people or something like that there. And I want to say like 7th in chicken, and then I bombed pork. And so it was a pretty good day. I think I got 4th or 5th overall. And I was like, all right, that's not bad. And then the very next competition, we went to Smoke in the Grove, and I got the first place. I got a first place pork call. This is crazy. So Lem and I stay up a little late sometimes, although we always say, like, tonight we're not going to do it. We're going to go to bed early. And so we stayed up until like 1 or 2 in the morning. And we were cooking pork at this event also. And so anyways, I can't remember my timeline now. I think I was supposed to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And anyways, I wake up in my truck and it was like 6:30. And I was like, oh my God. And so I get out and I don't even remember who was over there. Dave someone was like, Debo, you all right? What are you doing? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I was like, I'm not even going to let everyone know that I'm like freaking out right now. And so I go over and I light my grill up and I end up tossing these things on at like 7:30 in the morning. I cooked 2 pork butts and they finished 15 minutes before pork turn in. And so, I pull it real quick and build the box, and I flip and won first place in pork. It was ridiculous.
Dude, you might be the luckiest person I've ever talked to.
It was crazy. I was not expecting that.
Where was this?
That was Smoke in the Grove.
Okay.
This year?
Yeah, I remember him getting those calls.
Yeah,
I remember too.
And I got a 5th place rib call, and then I didn't do too well in chicken. I think chicken was like 12th place or something like that. And then anyways, then we went into the Withville contest, and that's where I really didn't – I don't know what it was, man. I mean, I did get a 1st place rib call in Withville, but outside of that, my calls were real mediocre for both of those doubles, especially Zombie Q. I didn't do well at all. And so it kind of had me like second guessing things going to the world championship. And chicken has not hit the past year for me. So I pretty much brought a new chicken recipe to every contest this year. I tried to do so much testing this year. And so finally it hit at the right time, I guess, at the championship. With the free, and that was the first one. Obviously, they called this chicken. They called first place chicken, and I was like, "What?" I don't even think I got a top 10 chicken all year. Like it was just like, how, man? And I was so in shock. Like I know I've told the stories. A lot of people probably heard it, but they called me. I was talking to everyone and like hugging everyone, and then they called me for ribs, and they were like, "You got ribs? Go up!" And I was like, "Oh my God, ribs!" And so then I got the rib trophy, and I didn't even realize it was first place either. And so I came back and I set the trophy on the chicken one, and I was like, "Oh, these are the same size." And I was like, "Holy crap! I won first place ribs too!" I was like, "Oh my God, man!"
So did you get first place overall? I'm just kidding.
No, see, before I saw the trophy, everyone was like, "You won, man! You GC." And I was like, "Well, hold on, don't say that. Don't like." I was like, "They're like, no, dude, like you won."
Wow, that's crazy. So I got a lot of questions, but we'll move on here to David. What about you? What did you plan on going into this year?
So this year, I kind of started talking to our little group that we have down here, the Border Brothers, and try to get an idea of what everybody was competing in. I kind of wanted to stay local, but then with everything getting canceled, we decided our first competition was the York Barbecue Festival. So Todd and I hit the road, and we about a month before that, not even a full month before that, it might have been a week or two before York, I had a little practice cook at my house with Dennis and Travis Murphy from Golden Blue that came down, and we did a practice cook and invited Charles Cridlin and Teresa Bell and her husband, and we had them provide us some feedback and do a little box building class. So that's where I learned how to trim chicken. Was I think a week or two before York. Travis and Dennis gave me some advice on what to do, scraping, not scraping, all that kind of fun stuff. So we went there, and our expectation for the whole year was to get a top 10 call. It'd be awesome to get a top 5 call, one of them all year, right? And my buddy Todd, we tasted the chicken, and he goes, "Oh, this is a good chicken. I think we'll get a top 10 in this." And then once they got past like 6th place, I was like, well, shit, I guess we're not getting a top 10 call. And we ended up with a 4th place call in chicken on that. So that was awesome. And then, we were kind of on a high. We were just like, well, thanks, KCBS. You're getting about $1,000 from us over the next few months, in entry fees. So we did Spring Grove with Dennis and the rest of the guys. And I got a rib call there. And then our 3rd competition was barbecue with us, and that was down in Withville, and it was a double. And on Saturday we got a 180 in chicken, and then I think we got a 12th place ribs, and then the second day we got 10th place in everything. And then once I saw the points chase from there, I think I was sitting at like number 7 or 8 in the country in chicken after that first place chicken call. And I was like, oh crap. So then I said, well, there was no more competitions in the Mid-Atlantic. The next one was Zombie Q, which is the competition that I run, so I can't compete at it. Mm-hmm. So I signed up for All-American Smokers down in Bonifay, Florida, and I knew that was going to be I knew I was going to get some points because there was a lot of teams, and I knew I had my 5th competition to say that I did it, to get, because the points chase is based on your top 5 scores for backyard. So went down there, and everybody's over there, loving on Lem, because Lem's lived down in Alabama for a month and a half at that point. He was showing everybody his new Alabama driver's license. It was really cool. And it was actually funny because I've been working remotely, so I told him, he said, I'm just going to go to Bonifay from Alabama. I said, okay, I'll meet you down there. And I got delayed. I got stuck in Atlanta traffic, and I got there getting there at 2:00 in the morning, and there was a hotel called the Bonifay Inn that we were staying in. And he said, don't worry, I'll leave the door cracked. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And it was a sketchy motel. And the door was cracked. It was. And I opened the door up, and he's out. But I started knock. I was like, Christopher Lemon, it's Dave Dick. I'm just like, pull a gun out and shoot me, But it was funny. I got to meet all the Alabama guys. I knew it would be tough competition. And, I just wanted a good chicken call. I didn't care about ribs. Lem was helping me with ribs. I was like, dude, I don't care. I just want chicken. That's all I need. And they called them all, and Lem got, I think, 3rd place chicken or 4th place chicken. And I was like, oh, shit, because I tasted his, and his was really good. And I was like, damn it. And then they called 1st place chicken. I was like, oh my God. So I went up there, and I was amazed. I did not expect it. And then I got 5th place ribs, and Lem goes the same thing with Debo. He's like, you got GC? I'm like, I don't know. I can't do the math here. I said, I have no idea. So I think they called Hickory Hangover for reserve. And then I knew that and that was my first GC. So I think my 5th competition, I got my first GC. And then again, I popped back into the top 10 again after that, and drove out to Indiana to try to keep myself in the top 10 and drop that. Smoke in the Grove was the only competition at that point that I didn't score in the top 10 in chicken. So I was like, let me see if I can get a top 10 call, and we got 3rd place chicken there. So finished the season 6th in chicken. I got 10th at the World Championship in the competition. And then, overall it was, I was not expecting chicken to be my best category. Actually, I didn't know what our best category was beer. I didn't know. I had no idea. But then, it sucks that chicken's our best because it's the one that people hate to prep the most. So, right. But I'll take it. Anything I can do. So it's a lot of fun. I stick to a time. I got timeline. I got a technique now, and I think I got the flavor profile down. I think being a judge, and I think you guys will really benefit from going to that judging class. You guys, and judging competitions, you'll really see what the judges want, because you'll talk to them after each category, and you'll see what the flavor is and which one they like best, and so it'll really help you out.
Oh yeah, can't wait for that.
Definitely.
So, Dave, did you get my question?
Huh?
Did you get my question?
Dude,
which question? What's that? No, Dave. Travis. All right, since he's going to be awkward and read it off his phone.
Oh, I don't know. I was my dad. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. So I wanted to ask you guys there, if what your guys' opinions are. We just learned our first leg cook with Bob Tarpey this weekend. And wanted to ask you guys, backyarders, backyard world champion, and backyard chicken king, what are you guys' opinions on legs and thighs? What are you guys seeing in the backyard? Because in the pros, it's kind of been up in the air, but I don't think anyone's ever asked what you guys do in the backyards.
This past year, actually, I take that back. The very first time I ever competed in chicken, I did lollipops. They didn't do well at all. I might have come in dead last. If not, it was second to last. And then that's when I realized everyone was doing thighs, and so I started doing that. And I feel like thighs I do pretty well. I have tried chicken legs at home, and I just can't get them to really do what I want to do them. But this past year, there's been several teams that have pulled off GCs and first place chicken calls at multiple of the competitions we went to. Of the very few, I mean, we only had 5 or 6, and they were using legs this year, a lot of them, and they were getting top calls with legs.
Yeah, I do thighs as well. I know I've seen. I don't want to speak for the team in general, but Kenzie I've seen use legs. I've seen Jamie from Sweet and Savory use legs. I know that some of the other people are just starting to dabble with it. And I know a lot of the Alabama guys use legs. So that was interesting to see, down in Florida. And then when they came up to Indiana as well, and then in the World Championship, I would say it's probably like a 80-20 split in backyard right now in our competitions. There's not a lot of people that are doing legs, but I know a lot of people are trying to learn them just to have that in their back pocket. But yeah, it is interesting. I'm going to stick with legs for now. With thighs for now, just because it's working for me. But I would love to learn legs just to have that skill set,
Absolutely. Yeah, we learned, at least in my opinion, they're so much daggone easier. It also
totally
very
how much easier.
Very temperamental though on judges, whether they want it or not. If they open up the box and they're wanting thighs, then they're not going to, judge you on what's in the box. But it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So, but daggone. So talk about you guys are coming out with a class. That's why we're having you guys on here to promote and talk about your class. What put that together?
I'll let you go, Dennis, and then I'll piggyback off you.
We were talking about. I was talking about taking a class this year, and Dave was kind of talking about that as well one night, and we're actually taking the Wolf's Revenge dual class, with Delicious down there in March, and anyways, we just got talking one night, and I was like, I would like to maybe get into that at some point if I can get to the point where people would want to take the class. And then Dave was like, well, what if we just did it and just see who signed up and just try it now, because we have pretty good credentials and I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. And I was like, and if we really marketed it to either a backyard cook, or you don't even have to be a backyard competitor cook, just someone who likes to cook barbecue. I was like, maybe that would be appealing to just a market to people that are not even competing or are just competing in backyard. So we'll just stick to the backyard meats. And if you're not competing, everyone wants to know how to cook good barbecue anyways for their family and friends at home. So I was like, that actually might work, man. I was like, we should just put it together and just see what happens. And so it kind of just, Dave put it together in one night. And he was like, here's the flyer. What do you think? And I was like,
that's awesome.
Well, and I'll also add on to that. One of the things, and I just thought about this, it wasn't really a catalyst at the time when Dennis and I were talking about it, but it kind of hit me in the back of the head recently. Is I think last year or earlier this year, I remember there was a class going on by one of the big names. It was, somebody that hadn't put on a class in a while, and, it was like $700, $900. I can't remember how much it was. Right. And I made a comment on Facebook and I said, and I didn't know how to word it because I don't mean it to come off the wrong way, but that's a lot of money for a backyard team. And not that it's not worth it, because obviously Dennis and I are signing up for Fergalicious and Chiles's, and you guys are all signing up for Apocalypse Now and Michael Fay's class, which I think there's value in it, but I think you need to get to that point where you can justify paying $700 or $900 or $1,000 for a class like that. So what we really wanted to do was we wanted to get a price point that it was a fraction of what the Master Series cooks are doing it at, and we know that not going to get. in my opinion, you're not going to get what you get out of, Porcalypse Now's class. But you are going to get some of the basics, some of the tools, our recipes, what is working for us and has proven to work on the backyard track, with Dennis's years of competition and my experience, not only as a cook, but mainly as a judge. So I can help them with that. So we just wanted to a better price point that was more of an entry level, because I think there's definite, and I don't want this, I hope this doesn't come off as not respectful to the bigger ones, because I think they are worth 100%. But there's something in that smaller market right now that hits the backyard, and we'd love to, if anybody else in the backyard circuit, because we're so spread out that we're thinking we're going to get teams from Richmond, Southwest Virginia, maybe Maryland, West Virginia, like maybe those different areas. It's because for backyard teams, traveling 2 or 3 hours is a lot anyway. So, but like if Steve Dotson wants to run it, and we can just tell him how we did our timeline of the class and work on that, because I think it's going to be beneficial for, I know Chris Lemon's doing one out in West Virginia. So it's not about, us saying, hey, we're going to copyright this thing and we're going to do it. We want to spread the sport of barbecue to more backyard cooks and backyard teams to kind of, get them up to, so we can have some more competition. So
absolutely. That's great. That's awesome.
You guys thought about so almost making it like a lesson plan and then having like shop classes throughout.
Yeah. I mean, we've thought about a few different things. I mean, Dennis and I would love to, kind of do these in different areas and bring on other cooks that, for example, Lemon killed it in ribs and chicken this year. He's actually thinking about possibly coming down and making a guest appearance for pork at our class. So that would be really cool. Because I don't know if any of you guys know, but him and I competed at a pro contest down in South Carolina, and we got 6th place pork with Childs and Hot Wachulas and some of these other big names in the pack. So that was really cool. But yeah, I mean, we've thought about, doing something here in Charlottesville. I have a connection with a local brewery, so they're letting us use the facility at a certain cost and tossing in some drink tickets. And then maybe doing one down in Christiansburg, or maybe trying out these different types of classes and, different things as they kind of come along. Maybe burgers or steaks or just something to get people into the competition spirit, because we know it's not just about the 2 meats either.
No, that's awesome. That's really cool. That's a really great gateway to get people in there. And like you said, not taking away from the big classes and all, but if someone, you have a better chance of someone coming and being like, okay, I want to learn a little bit about competition barbecue, but what's this backyard stuff? And paying $300 versus paying $800 to $1,000 for the big class. And a big class for someone, in my opinion, if for someone getting into it, a big class might be a little overwhelming. Because then you're like, holy crap, Wagyu, Duroc, Purina versus Purdue, and then just freaking out. And versus you guys are like, this is how you cook ribs. This is how you cook chicken. Bonus pork butt, bonus burger, but ribs and chicken. And then eventually you're like, okay, I feel good. I'm going to sign up for Smoking the Grove. They sign up for Smoking the Grove, and like, I got my name called. Dennis, just get my name called. And then they go up there and they do that, and then they're on to Michael Fay's class, and they're on to, Wolf's Revenge and Porkalicious and all that kind of good stuff. No, you guys are killing it. That's awesome.
That was kind of the idea. Is there's no entry level type, or I shouldn't say no, there is out there, but there's not a lot of these entry level type smaller classes to just like, don't be intimidated, like come and learn the basics. And you're also going to learn like recipes that are winning a lot with us. And exactly like you said, if anything, they start competing, it'll end up leading to them taking one of the big classes, because then they're going to compete a few times and then they're going to say, man, I'm going to take one of the big classes now,
Yeah. And our region has proved to be and the Alabama guys that are listening might not like this, but the premier division for backyard barbecue in the country. Dennis we have the world champion, right? We have a lot of contests, even though they are spread. Alabama has like 40 contests in the state of Alabama for backyard, and they have backyard only and that stuff. But we're trying to do that in the Mid-Atlantic. And I joke that we're the premier, but between the two of us, I mean, we're the top two regions.
100%.
That, I mean, if you looked at the 30 teams that were in Kansas City from backyard, I would say 27 of them were from the Mid-Atlantic or
it was a lot.
Alabama.
Yeah,
I mean, Alabama, Georgia, Florida area. So yeah, I mean, we just want to get more teams involved, and a lot of teams. I know Raymond Rousey. I don't know if he's listening. He lives down in Southwest Virginia. He competed at Zombie Q for the first time this year, and he's hooked. He's Q and Q he's competing this year. And he watches cookout coaches videos and does all that stuff. But I think getting that hands-on approach, is something as well. So we're excited for some of these guys that have competed 1 or 2 times or that are thinking about coming out and competing, coming out. So and I feel like our price point is at a point where it's not going to break the bank, and they can make a little bit of money maybe back later in the year.
Definitely. So is it going to be a little bit hands-on, or is it going to be kind of a lesson? What are you guys putting on the layout of that?
Yeah, a little bit of
both. We're gonna try to kind of stagger it. We might have some of the meets on when we first get there in the morning, prep them and put them in the morning, and then prep some more with them during the class while they're cooking. We're still trying to kind of make sure that we have our timeline for all of that straight. And I know Dennis has been working on that. But then, pulling them out of the smoker and, wrapping them and, slicing them and boxing them. And then having the ones that we trim, toss them on the smoker as well and have them towards the end of class or for the local brewery folks as well.
Awesome.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Now, what's the response been like? You guys filling up quick?
Yeah, so we can fit up to 25 people with COVID restrictions and whatnot. We have the entire bar to ourselves and the outdoor area, so we're not worried about having too many people. And if we get 50 people that want to sign up, for example, we can do it outside as well. But we have a pretty good response rate right now. We have like between 5 and 10 people that are interested, and we're excited to have people out there. We're doing I think it's $200 for a single person and $350 for a team or 2 people. They don't have to be on the same team even. I mean, if it's you and another guy from another team that want to show up, I know a lot of the competition classes do, you have to be on the same team and stuff like that. We don't really care. We want to spread the word, but we also know that we have a limit of how many people. And I'll let Dennis kind of talk about the perks that come with signing up.
Oh, Dennis, perks.
Yeah, so obviously the perks are to be entertained by myself and Dave, of course, but we're going to, as Dave mentioned, we'll have a drink ticket obviously included right when the class ends. The brewery actually opens, so it'll be perfect timing. And so that way everyone can kind of just enjoy a drink and probably talk and kind of hang out a little bit if they don't have to run off and leave. And then also anyone who is signed up by next Friday. Is that the 15th, I want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the 15th. Anyone who signed up by next Friday, the 15th, will also get a team T-shirt from both of us as well.
Oh, wow.
Signing up. So right off the bat, you kind of get a beer and a T-shirt from both of us, right? Just for nothing, right off the bat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we'll create a little Facebook group for all the people that attend as well, and we'll share secrets and share how, well, not secrets, but share kind of how we did in the competitions, what's working, what's not working well, kind of as a we have our Mid-Atlantic group, but we want a little bit something extra too. So we're excited about it.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, with everybody up and coming and everything like that, with backyard, like when I started and everything, there wasn't much for backyard. For you guys to give an opportunity to the backyard guys and gals, that want to come up and take a class, it's phenomenal. I think it's great. Especially for $200, it's a steal.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are killing it. I mean, we've often talked praises about how great the backyard is, this year and the past year. It's awesome. It's very jealous of you guys.
Tight-knit community, which is great. I mean, you guys stick together as a pact, which is
definitely
great.
Awesome. So what are your guys' goals for this year, 2021? What are you thinking? If everything goes back and all the competitions, I know Papoose Q, you guys have that's just blown up in the comments and been all over social media. But what are your plans for 2021? What do you hope to do if everything is good to go?
Back to back. No, I'm
Back
just
to
kidding.
back.
I mean,
You heard it here.
that would be cool, but I mean, I would just like to just kind of keep. If I can keep going, I want to eventually just go Master Series. And I don't know if I want to do one more year or 2 more years of backyard. I like the group that we have in backyard.
Absolutely.
It's so cool, man. Like it's just unmatched, the energy. So it's kind of hard, but I'd like to just keep just some momentum going, just keep consistent, it's consistency. I feel like is key with competition. You're not going to win every contest. You're not going to get a first place call to everyone, but if you're staying consistent, you're going to be in the points races, you're going to be in the talk. And that's just kind of my goals, just kind of stay consistent.
Absolutely. What about you, David?
So, I think our first competition, we're both the class in March. I think it's March 5th or 7th or something like that in Chesapeake or Norfolk, Giles and Fergalicious. So that's exciting. Getting those skill sets, even if we're not competing in brisket anytime soon, it'll be cool to kind of see 2 different styles there. And then my first competition is down in Somerville. I'm doing the Rufus Teague with Chris. I think he'll be doing that, and Kenzie, and I know that some of the other people are itching to compete, so they might come down to that one.
So that's a pro, though, isn't it?
No, they're adding a backyard. They have a backyard for the Somerville as well. So the Roof Series this year, it's expanding, and Jason Hardy has done a fantastic job of helping organize that. And I'm just going to do a plug because I like the guy. If you haven't voted for KCBS Board of Directors, he's done a whole lot in the region. I mean, I know he's not technically Mid-Atlantic, but he's done a lot in our area to bring back competitions and stuff like that. So shout out to Jason Hardy. But yeah, so we'll be doing the Rufus Teague series, and we're gonna have a mini Rufus Teague kind of backyard series going along with that. So Summer is in there. Aiken is going to be a backyard as well, and that's on the border of like South Carolina and Georgia. And then Zombie Q, this is our announcement. Zombie Q will be part of the Rufus Teague series this year.
Wow.
It will not be the final competition for the pros, but it will be the final 2 competitions for the backyard. So it's going to be a double again this year. We're thinking middle of October. We're not sure on the date yet, but it will count towards the Rufus Teague series for the pros. And I think their final competition is, and it might be Butts and Beans, if that's the name of that one, down in Shelby, North Carolina. Wrong. But either way, so there's one in Shelby, North Carolina, that's going to be the final one, and that's the weekend of Halloween. So for the pro series, so that's pretty exciting for us. We're kind of I'm excited to organize another contest this year. But yeah, going to Pusa Q is probably our big trip. I'm hoping to hit 8 to 10 competitions this year, which won't be too hard because Urbana's a double. Smoking on the Buffalo up in West Virginia is a double. Barbecue with Us down in Southwest Virginia is a double. Zombie Q will be a double.
Interstate.
And then, what'd you say?
Interstate might even be a double now.
Yeah, Interstate might even be. What I was going to say. Interstate might even be a double. But yeah, Pusa Q is kind of the big one that I'm excited about traveling to. But I just got a new job and I'm working remotely, and I bought the camper. So who knows? I might hit the road and find some cool place to drive to and compete if I have a weekend off. So we'll see.
Dude, that's what you need. You need a stay-at-home job, a remote working job, and a camper.
Yeah, I got both of them. I just need to be better at ribs.
There you go. Well, I know a class happening on January 23rd. You could probably learn a little bit from.
I hope.
So that's awesome, man. You guys, I'm very excited to see what you guys do, and I can also shout out Jason Hardy because he's the guy that's in charge of the judging class Dave and I are taking. Yeah. So cool. I think we ought to maybe reach out to him and see if he wants to come on here and talk a little bit about that because the Rufus Teague series is it's definitely something that's pretty cool that's happened last year.
Yeah. I'm going to try to do a couple this year.
Dave, you're taking me away from. I'm out of retirement, man.
Why? You're coming anyway.
Jake, you can judge them with me. I might go down and judge some if you want to ride with me.
Dude, I might take you up on that because the deal is if I'm not competing till we have a house and the wedding paid for, done and over with. So, 4 or 5
There's nothing
years,
against judging.
no, 3 to 4 years. So, dude, that's why I'm taking that judging class and SCAs, man, and then competing with Dave under Shazam Q. So, we'll see. But man, I'm very excited to judge and get out there and try it. Very, very excited for that.
And Jake, I might be down there in Aiken for to cook on Saturday for you judges.
No way.
No way.
I think it's like practice that we're thinking about doing. I know Jason's been kind of playing around with that idea, so I might try to make the trip down there and see one of my buddies that lives down in Columbia and cook, or just kind of hang out and hang out with you guys. So
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
dude, bring it on. That's awesome. Dave and I will both be down there for it. So yeah,
I'd love to take a KCBS judges class. I've always wanted to do that, but they're just like, I'd love one to just be somewhere around here, close, more local. They're so
There
hard.
was always a local one that was at the New Holland one competition.
Is that right?
Yeah, there was. They always had it the last few years, but it was every time I looked at it, boom, sold, or it was already booked.
Dude,
Booked.
I've looked all over the country last year for judging classes, especially after Smoking the Grove, or not Smoking the Grove. Smoking the Grove was great, especially after Delta, when they said that they were, there was rumors going around of like not having many judges and anything like that. People are like, "Hey, do you want to judge?" It's like I've never been a certified judge. I don't know what I'm looking for, but barbecue. I'm like, I'm not doing it. But ever since then, man, I looked all over the country for a judging class, and finally found one in Aiken, South Carolina, and I'm like. Yes. Yeah. I'm like, I got to do it. And I've been pestering Jason. I feel so bad because I'm like, did you get my sign up? Okay. I'll send out confirmation. Okay. Did you send a confirmation yet? I'll send it out tomorrow. Okay. Got your confirmation. Just paid. And he's like, okay, thanks, buddy. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. I want in on that so bad.
I was joking with Dave when we were talking about the barbecue class because I didn't realize he told me who could teach this, but I was like, forget a barbecue class. I was like, what do we got to do to teach a judges class? You can't even find those. I was like, everybody would come to that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's difficult to find. I mean, I don't know who's doing the judging class down there as far as from KCBS, but I know Don and Debbie Harwell can do it, and they're based out of Charlotte or Concord, right in that general area. But we may have a judging class later this year on an open weekend. Just keep your eye out in Virginia.
The hardest thing that I've heard, because I've asked a lot of people. I mean, I pestered. For you guys who don't know Tyler Bloom, he's my teammate for Harshman Barbecue. He's the manager of Mason Dixon Barbecue. So I was bugging him. I was bugging Eric Forster, the owner of Mason Dixon. I'm like, can we have a judging class? And apparently there is like a couple thousand judges in the Mid-Atlantic. Like I met people, like someone asked me, what I did. I was sitting down having lunch with some people from work, and there's just this random dude there. And the guy's like, so what are you getting into? And the random dude goes, I learned to judge a barbecue competition. I'm like started throwing out some names. I'm like, do you know this person? He goes, no. He goes, my wife got it for me for my birthday. And I'm like, you lucky son of a gun. Like, how did you get in there? And you like don't know anyone or anything about barbecue. And no, apparently there's so many judges that when people
especially apply for competition, you guys,
yeah. Well, like Iron Man, for example. Apparently, Iron Man they only need like an X amount of judges, and he'll get hundreds of applicants to have to go through and sort through. So there's always just been too many in the Mid-Atlantic region, which is why they haven't had one. That's rumored. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But
what happened this year? What happened this year with judges? They all left.
Well,
they're all older.
We struggled to get judges. I mean, I know neither one of you guys came to either one of the events down in Wytheville, but we won't talk about that. It was very difficult for us to get judges. I mean, Zombie Q, man, I was begging people to judge. I had to turn teams away because we didn't have judges. So, I turned teams down from Alabama. These people that wanted points, and it just sucked because I will never, as an organizer, give you guys non-certified judges for backyard. Right. That's a no-go for me. I think everybody deserves the same quality of judges. That's one of the things. I mean, I know we had some great judges. Michael Fay came down and judged. We had we had judges that I met down in Florida at Bonifay that said, hey, we've been dying to get into competitions, because there are the hardcore judges and the diehard judges. And then there's the judges that are like, well, I'll do it if it's within an hour of my house.
Right.
And there's those in the Mid-Atlantic.
Right.
I assume. I mean, that's the only answer we have for why we don't have enough judges, right? I mean,
absolutely. Well, I'm surprised you said Florida, because I was thinking that too when I was at Delta last year doing my competition, which we won't talk about because we got disqualified. But I asked a guy on Saturday morning, like, where are you from? Because I'm from Florida. I'm like, you came all the way up here to judge from Florida? He goes, yep, we love judging. And I think COVID's kind of put a hanger on that for people traveling, people's work. Having to like do all this. That's why I think it hurt judges quite a bit. I mean, you could only really get local people to do any judging, if that, for some of these competitions.
And a lot of older people too.
Yeah, they have a lot of older people, and who knows what it was like from their inside, because they're inside the entire time. So who knows? I don't know what you guys do down there, Dave, with Zombie Q, which maybe this year I'll find out one of the ways or another.
No, so Zombie Q, we had for judging, we have one room that could have fit every judge, but with COVID restrictions, we had them in this. So the facility is this. It's like the size of a football field, and it's a rodeo facility. Mm-hmm. So it's open, and there's these corridors. So we had 6 or 7 tables in this open corridor, and they were still spread out. But I mean, it's practically like being outside. It's so big. Yeah. I mean, one of the things, that KCBS does really well and did really well this year is I think they did a great job of vocalizing the rules and the regulations that they were going to tell judges, reps, and organizers to follow for COVID restrictions. We made it very clear that, you had to do this. If you're not happy, like at the judges meeting, we told the judges, if you're not happy or you're not pleased with how we are handling this, this is your out right now. We won't hold you accountable. I mean, you won't be in trouble. Like, we won't put you on our list of people not to invite again. But we want to know. And everybody seemed happy with how we ran the judges. I mean, I know that there's been talk around the country, but you can only do so much. I mean, and I think we had the judges actually had those like really thin, like clear gloves that are like way too big for your hands, and they put on 10 or 12 pairs at once. And when they finished a sample, they would just take it off and throw it away. And that way it would cut down. And we had to buy all that, which is fine. But in the tablecloths, for example, we had tablecloths that we took the entire plastic tablecloth off, ripped it up, threw it away, and then put a brand new one on for the next category. So
every category at every table.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of waste. There's a lot of, but I want teams to know and judges to know that organizers and KCBS are trying to do what's best to make sure you can still have competitions, but there's only so much you can do, And I mean, there was somebody at the World Championship that got COVID or not tested positive that was there. I don't know if they got it while they were there, obviously, but there's been. Seen press releases of different contests that had people that had it, but I haven't seen an outbreak of any sort that was associated with the barbecue contest yet. So that's, I mean, that's what you said for the amount of people that are at these things.
100%. So, well, we're coming up here in an hour, guys. Dennis, I know you got other obligations going on right now as well. So, but we appreciate you guys coming on here. Dave, you got anything else?
I'm good.
You're good?
Sorry, I'm in a Zoom tonight. My bad.
I got one more thing.
The only thing you can go, Dennis.
Also, I forgot to mention earlier, but my sponsor, Jonesy Q, Jeff Jones, I use his rubs in competition, and which a lot of people will learn some of that in the class. But anyways, Jeff, we're going to try to get some rubs and sauces that he's going to donate to the classes so that everyone can get a bottle also of the class. But they'll also kind of learn some of the different flavor profiles, and obviously during the class with that.
Awesome. What's that seasoning called? Jonesy Q, you said?
Jonesy Q barbecue.
Jonesy Q BBQ.
And unfortunately, I won't be able to get any White Claw That's our sponsor. No, I'm just kidding.
White Claw. Jeez, man.
I wanted to do a quick plug just for our class one more time. If you're
Absolutely.
interested in signing up, check out Ham Squad, look up myself or Dennis, contact us. We have openings, but we want to kind of make sure that we have 5 to 10 people paid for to kind of go through with it. Because we really can't offer the class if it's 2 or 3 people. So there's been a lot of interest, but go ahead and sign up. And we'll send out invoices for that. But we'll get all that straight. And I think the link is on our Facebook page too. So we have an event there and a Google Forms for you.
What's your Facebook page again where people can go to? Ham Squad or
Ham Squad? Yeah, it's an event on the Ham Squad page, and then the link to the tickets is right on the event.
All right. Well, good luck with you guys with that. We'll be waiting to see, more of these pop up. And, you guys changed the game of competition barbecue.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. On.
I really appreciate you guys having us.
Yeah,
absolutely, guys. Absolutely. We'll have to have you on. We'll have to have you on and see how you do next year. If you're the 2-time world champion or if Piggy Small steals it from you.
He might.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much. We will see everyone next week. I got to make a phone call for our person and get them set up. But I think we'll have a pretty good guest on next week. But with that being said, January 23rd, David Dick and Dennis Bowman having their class. Current KCBS Backyard World Champion. That's still – I wouldn't be able to sleep still if I were you.
It's still hard to believe.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we will see you out in the competition circuit.
Thanks, guys.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
there he goes.
What's that?
And broadcast.
And broadcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Sorry, my bad. Dude.